Again, the latest on Brandon Aiyuk. Brandon Aiyuk and coming to terms with the 49ers. Good news for the 49ers. 4-year extension, $120 million. It's all over. The drama's over, and he's staying.
It's all over. And how about this, Whitey? 4 years, 120, so $30 million per year average annual value.
That sounds fair.
Yeah,
that sounds right.
That's $76 million in guarantees, and you can see the story on SactownSports.com. Check it out also on our app. The initial offer reportedly was 26, so kudos to the Niners for coming up.
Mm-hmm.
That's substantially too. It wasn't just $1 million here, $2 million. It came up $4 million per on average annual value. That's massive, And I'll say this: from an Aiyuk situation, he gets what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Like he, I don't know if we're going to say he won the negotiation, but he got what he, wanted out of this.
Yes. Yeah. Amil Fragoso with the story, SactownSports.com. But here's a dang deal. Brandon Aiyuk with a 4-year, $120 million contract extension, $76 million in guarantees. Yeah. And with more, our 49er insider, nice enough to join us, Amil Fragoso. Amil, are you surprised by today's breaking news?
Partially, but at the end of the day, guys, we talked about this yesterday on air. It's the 49ers. Anything is possible. Despite obviously issues going on between front office and Brandon Aiyuk and the agent, and does he want to be here? Does he want to be traded? What does he want? At the end of the day, the same thing remained clear this whole time. Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers wanted to remain together, and at long last, after all this discussion, with 11 days to go, they get the deal done finally.
Hey, Amil, is this around what you expected in terms of the average annual value, $30 million?
Yes, I did expect it to be around $30 million. I believe that Brandon was seeking that deal similar to Amon-Ra, the Amon-Ra St. Brown got with the Detroit Lions back around the draft, which was 4 years, 120 with a little more actually guaranteed. I'm surprised it was only $76 million in guarantees. I think that was more of Brandon acting in good faith with the Niners, wanting to help them with their salary stuff, because the Niners did want him on a 3-year deal. That's kind of their status quo. The same thing they did with Deebo Samuel. He wanted that 4th year similar to Amon-Ra, but the guarantees went down lesser than Amon-Ra got. So that's kind of where they met in the middle there. He got his 4th year. He did not get all of the guaranteed money he'd probably want. He probably wanted it fully guaranteed, obviously, but he did get a large amount of it guaranteed. And so they met in the middle. At the end of the day, they compromised. They found a happy medium, and now we can all put this to rest.
So do you think, Amil Fragoso with us, our 49er insider, do you think that 4th year, was that the holdup or a big part of the holdup for this whole deal?
It was a big part of the holdup, absolutely. Brandon wanted to be taken care of like a top-tier wide receiver. He wanted to have that 4th year, and he had every right to ask for that 4th year. I mean, he's a guy who just turned 26 years old. He's going into the prime of his career, coming off 2 incredible wide receiver 1 seasons. I mean, he led the league in second in yards per catch. And this is a guy who is not only a great route runner, a great pass catcher, but also a great teammate, one of the best run blockers out of the wide receiver group in the NFL. A worthwhile teammate to have for this 49ers offense that really is about buying in. And Brandon wanted to be taken care of and treated like he was valued as one of the premier players, as one of the elite players on this offense like he was. And at the end of the day, he does get his number. He gets his money, but also helps the Niners out potentially in the long run. We'll have to see the full details on this to really get the scope of the contract. But for now, it's 4 for 120 with $76 million guaranteed.
Amil, that brings me to my next question, man. When does Trent get done? Got to be soon, I would imagine.
Yeah, that's the next kicker, obviously. And there's been some rumblings that this could obviously go into week 1 with preparation starting. And the inclinations that I've been told, I've been heard, is that Trent's looking to get maximum guaranteed money out of this, either a year or 2 potentially of fully guaranteed money, because he has no guarantees left in his 3-year deal. And he's looking to be still valued, similar to how Aiyuk feels right now, still valued at the top of the market. And Trent has every right to be, even more in my opinion than Brandon Aiyuk does, because Trent's been there and done that for so many years, and he's remained at the top of his game for so many years, despite his being in his mid-30s now. Trent Williams is still one of, if not the best left tackles in the game, and left tackles get paid north of $30 million now. That's just the reality of the situation. So I do expect the Niners to come to a medium, same with Brandon Aiyuk, just as they did just now, but it could take into the weekend, potentially into Monday, but I do expect them to be back some point next week.
Just your opinion on this, Amil. Do you think that what happened yesterday, where the 49ers basically said, that's it, we expect you to practice, you are now a holdout, you're subject to fines, do you think that had a lot to do with the fact that the two sides came to terms?
I do. I do think that it was finally, knuckle down time for them. It was finally time to really get back to the table that, all right, man, do you want to be here? Or do you want to be on another team? Because we can't afford to have this linger any longer. We're going into our season now. We're going into prep. You've missed the first day of practice prep, and now the second day of practice prep today, this morning. And so it was about just getting it done and figuring out what the best step was. There was no more standoff. There was no more waiting around. It's time to figure out. And even John Lynch yesterday at their Players for Purpose charity event last night really had some interesting quotes. He had a little speech there actually and kind of called out Brandon very subtly and said, there's a lot of chatter about the guys who aren't here. We'll get that taken care of, but I want to commend the guys who are here. And he mentioned Deebo Samuel by name in that speech. And I think that might have lit a fire under both John as well as Brandon Aiyuk to potentially get back to the table and figure out, okay, what is your bottom line? What's our bottom line? What happy medium can we reach here? Or is there no happy medium and we need to trade? Because it seems all possibilities were possible at this time. But at the end of the day, Brandon Aiyuk and the 49ers are better together, and they're going to stay together.
Thank you, Amil. We appreciate it very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great one.
All right, Amil. So read all about it, Sactownsports.com. Breaking news, 49ers, Brandon Aiyuk agreeing on an extension, 4 years, $120 million. When we come right back, who makes the Kings top 40 in honor of the team's 40th season in Sacramento? Numbers 20 through 11 are about to be revealed next on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is